Welcome back. Welcome to day 3. Today we're going to be talking about the mind, the programming of the brain, and the way that the brain works. Thousands and thousands of years ago, this structure was created, and there really hasn't been any change at all in this brain structure for the last 10,000 years, except it's gotten 10% smaller. It's getting smaller. Probably not the greatest thing for our current state of mental health. You'd probably agree with that. But what I want to say is that this machine is built for survival. There is a survival mindset going on. It wants to keep the rest of the body alive. It makes sense. And we want to believe that we're very far detached from that survival mentality because we're playing house with caveman bodies, as I talked about with our caveman Bob. But as much as you might believe, okay, yeah, it's survival and I'm in society right now, so like my job is important and my car insurance is important, and I can compartmentalize the level of importance from a wolf attack versus my car insurance. What I'd really like you to look at is that only 150 years ago, wolves were a problem for people in the United States. People getting attacked by wolves diving through window openings and gobbling families up. So how far from a survival mindset do you think we could possibly be? There are 2 very important factors that I want you to focus on when understanding the mind. The first one is that this thing is an absorption machine. It only absorbs information. There's no delete button up here. Everything that you expose yourself to, the TV, the radio, they don't call it programming for nothing. It's programming your experiences, programming who you are and how you feel, and how you go about your day-to-day, your personality and your habits, the conversations that you have with other people, the things that you see, the traditions that you have, the culture and society that you're in, and the ways that you talk to yourself. They are all programming. They are all being internalized. It's all information. Know that the mind absorbs. It's an absorption machine. It's only ever pulling in information and planting seeds. And the second thing is that this mind is wired for survival. It could also be looked at as this mind is wired for negativity because it's a machine that always asks, what's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this picture over here? What's wrong with this phone? We need to come up with the iPhone 10, the 11, the 75, whatever we're on when you're watching this. It's fantastic for technology. It constantly goes, we can make it just a little bit better, just a tiny bit better. And that's great, because now we have curved TVs and 4K and all this stuff, but we're actually getting to a place where I don't know how much faster our internet really needs to be and all that kind of stuff. It's great for medical advances and surgical tools and things like that, but it's awful for inner peace. It's the completely opposite side of the brain. You're versing the logic with the creative at this point. So the mind, the programming of the brain, the software of the brain is wired for negativity. It's wired for survival. It's why we can have an amazing day, but the weather or that one person driving behind us beeping their horn or tailgating us or that one thing, that one bill can bother us for the whole day or the week or the month or the year. When we have all of these things, we're breathing. You have the technology to watch me right now. They're beautiful, beautiful things to be grateful for, but however, we get sidetracked from that because of the way that our mind is wired. So it's not about fault, but it's about programming and reprogramming. We're not wired for inner peace. If we were wired for inner peace, then thousands of years ago, caveman Bob would be in a really happy place, and he might as well have been whistling with Worcester sauce rubbed all over him while he's walking through a jungle, because he's not going to be paying any attention to dangers around him. He's just going to be loving and enjoying life, and that's it. So we needed a system. We needed fail-safe devices to keep human beings going long enough that we could build houses and create safety and cure diseases and things along those lines. So there are 2 beautiful subjects that I really want you to think about. And if you want to do extra research down the road, these subjects are neuroplasticity and epigenetics. But for now, knowledge is not power. We will get to that at some point. You don't need to take in too much information. My course is going to give you plenty of that. But neuroplasticity and epigenetics are 2 of my favorite subjects, and they describe the ability to not just change our thoughts, our habits, and our behaviors, but our actual physical shape of our brains and our bodies, literally changing our DNA. And as science begins to bridge into the reality of the power that we have inside of us, we're going to see a beautiful evolution and combination of marriage between science and physics and spirituality and philosophy. And that's going to be fantastic, and we're going to be a part of that. One of my favorite studies in reference to these is a Harvard study where they help retired football players repair physical brain damage with mindfulness and breathing exercises and the right thoughts and behaviors. Physical brain damage. So, do you believe your anxiety is stronger than the damage that a 250-pound linebacker can give to you? Is your fibromyalgia more damaging than getting blindsided by a professional football player? Don't answer that yet, okay? Don't do it. In this video, there are main points that I want you to focus on. So, with the mind being an absorption machine, you got to stop talking about your struggles. Stop sharing about your anxiety or depression or fibromyalgia. We're in this crazy state where mental health awareness is beautiful, but it's the way that humans and the mind works is it over-exaggerates to one side. It creates a polarity and a pull to one side versus another side. So we're getting to this beautiful place where more people are feeling comfortable talking about these things. But the more we talk about it, the more we're programming to experience more of it. So you have to start limiting these. Now that you're here, you're caring and not worrying. You're taking action on yourself and doing the right thing by your mind and your body and your spirit. So limit this. Stop talking about it. Stop programming yourself with the things that you do not wish to experience by focusing on a version of yourself that you're trying to grow past. You might want to rewind that one again. Stop having these same conversations. Stop reading the horror stories in support groups. Leave them if you have to. Stop exposing yourself to the media and the sources that feed into your stress. And I cannot stress this enough. You must keep your mind clean during the healing process, and all that might mean is snoozing, some of your friends on Facebook. It might mean avoiding certain family members, certain confrontations, or bowing out of many conversations to avoid tension. See, the brain is only and always forever absorbing information. Can't delete anything up there. I think you got the point. Next, we have been predestined to all arrive at this very place right here, right now, together, with what we've experienced. But nothing is set in stone. The human brain is the most powerful tool in the known universe. More powerful than any surgery, drug, or treatment. And as you better understand your mind and become more of a master, you will realize that we can wire this tool for anything. See, we are going to change that survivor mindset into a thriving mindset. You may have been raised in fear and guilt just like me, but you can learn to be happy no matter what life throws at you. The same way I have grown, and we will get much, much deeper as this course goes on. So I have accountability exercises for you. Carry a journal. I can't stress it enough, but make sure you have a notepad with you and try to carry this thing around with you at all times. But what I want you to start doing is start to unfold and notice the programming that you're doing to yourself, how you're programming yourself, where you are feeding into fear and hate and tension, where you have a tight grip on the way that things should be. This is just a light practice that we will be unwrapping more and more as we dive deeper in this course. But I just want you to start to think about this and check your emails. Make sure you're signed up so that you get notifications from me and you get to keep up to date. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.